And what's up, guys, and welcome back. And today, guys, we are on to how to make a Battle Royale game in Minecraft 1.12 Part 2. Now, I know in the last episode we worked on our game start sequence, our teleport, and even how the players will move throughout their balloons across the map. But today, we're going to be using a little bit different commands here, a little bit more complex. If I had to rate today out of 10, I'd say maybe a 4. It's not that bad. Not yet, at least. We're going to start doing a little bit more complex concepts next episodes, I believe, hopefully. That'll be fun. But this one is a little bit intermediate, so 3 to 4, but we're going to get started here. So, of course, we have the balloons, we have our spawn point, we have our timer, we have everything we need to start the game. But what about while the players are playing your game? How will they be able to play? So, of course, if they're playing Battle Royale, looking around, and they can't find any chests or anything, that's going to be pretty boring, isn't it? I mean, you can't grab any guns, you can't kill players, so that's what we're going to resolve here. So let's just say if I was to grab, I'm just going to make a little ugly little thing over here really fast. Let's say if we build a little stone hut right here. Let's make it just a little ugly one here for a second. We don't need to make nothing too fancy here. This is just for a little purpose of showing you guys what we're talking about here. Just like that. So, if this is the middle of your spawn and you want there to be chests here, 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 and here, there are two ways to do this. The first way is just to do a cloning, basically a cloning sequence. It's very easy. All you do is clone a block to this location, and it's very, very, very simple. That's the easiest way. But what would happen then is the chest will actually have the same loot in them every time. So there's a second way. I'll be showing off both of these in today's episode. Because there's two ways, one that does not randomize and one that randomizes. The randomized loot, of course, takes a lot longer. It is not that easy of a project. It's not difficult, it just is very time consuming. So we're going to go and do the easy one first. So let's go over here and grab our command block, and then we will start this out. So I'm not sure if I explained how to do this in my last episode, but we're going to need to get some of our coordinates. And I also learned you can't see my mouse, but I mean, right underneath this little XYZ, hopefully you guys can see that on my F3, left side, about the 6th line down or so, 7th line, it says XYZ. Right underneath that is your block. We will need that coordinate. So what I'm going to do, actually, is, as I was saying, in Windows 7 or 10, you can just go into your search bar on your computer. Not your internet search bar, just your computer search bar. Mine says type here to search with Siri, and I just typed in there STICK, which is stick, or for, sorry guys, that was my fault, or stick for sticky note, and it will bring up sticky notes, and you can open one of those on your desktop, and it will actually give you a place to write down info. So if you need to get these coordinates and you wanted a place to store them, you can just open up a sticky notes tab and you will be good to go. However, we will just grab our coordinates. So we want to have, we'll actually place one there. We're going to have chests on all 4 of these green grass areas. So we're going to grab our first coordinate, -337411018. And then we're just going to go around here and grab the rest of these really fast. That would be, whoops, the third one. Well, second, 41019. That's what we're going to need to do there. And then the last thing we're going to, oh wait, we need 4, so I have 2 more, my bad. And I got a 41018. And also, just so you guys know, if you are new to Minecraft in general, your guys' coordinates will be completely different than mine. There will be no same coordinates at all here unless we're extremely, extremely lucky. So make sure you know that you will not have the same coordinates as me. Yours will all be different than this. So make sure to put your own in there and not the ones that I've just said. Alright, so now that we have all 4 of our coordinates, what we're going to actually do is do something very simple. Another thing I should probably bring up is that if you have a massive, massive map, I'm not sure if you guys know this, but actually if you have a command block that says /clone this block to there and it's really, really far away, it actually will not complete the command, and it will actually just say cannot access blocks outside the world because players are not rendering it because of how far away it is. That's an issue. So I found a couple fixes to that, but we'll talk about the first way to do it first, and that would be just to go to your end of your little command line that we've made here last episode and just add a couple little repeaters. You don't have to put any ticks on them at all. And then what we're going to do is put some command blocks in between there. And then on your first one, you're just going to want to do /clone ~1 ~1 and then ~, or sorry, not ~, my fault, guys. The third little set of tildes right here, you're going to want to put your first chest coordinate in right there, and then you're going to want to do the same thing. I copy the command block using Control middle click, and we're going to do the exact same thing, but remove the last part and put our coordinates in place of those tildes, like that, and like this. That will be 3 of them. We need to do one more here, so we'll add one more chest here, or sorry, one more command block here at the end with our coordinates in it. Also, I hope my mic is okay, guys. I've been hearing a little bit of clipping issues with it, and I'm not exactly liking that. But for now, I'll have to deal with it until I can figure out how to fix that. But let's just quickly do this. One way you can test this working is if you put just stone on top of these, and then break the repeater and repower it. You will see that hopefully, in theory, all 4 of these, there you go, have changed to stone. So we can now remove that stone from on top of our chest clone location, and we can go over here and grab our chests. You can use whatever type of chest you like, except for ender chests, because, you know, those have a player GUI of themselves and not just a regular chest. Place your chests all down on top of the command blocks, and you can fill these chests with whatever you like. You can literally have anything, and it will clone that to the middle. So let me just try to grab like a couple things here. We'll grab some different types of saplings in here. This is just for you know, testing purposes. You guys can put whatever you like in there. I'm just going to put one of each type in each one. And what you can see, there's weather. No weather in my tutorial. What do you think you're doing? As we were saying, all you have to do, reactivate it, and then you will see that if we go over here, all 4 of these have changed to chests, and if we try to open them, each one will have our different saplings. Right here will be the first one, second one, third one, and fourth one. All 4 of them have been cloned. You can do that for that if it's close to your command blocks, or I will now show you guys a better way to do this, in my opinion. So what you're going to want to do here, there's a couple things. So I've showed this one off. You can leave it here if it's close to the spawn. I'm going to personally remove this because there is a different way that I'll be showing off for people that have it in a little farther away area. This will have to be, I should probably say this too, both these types will have to be in the same world. If you wanted to, you could just somehow create a player score that would like transfer throughout different worlds, which I will show off in another episode. That's a little bit complex, and I honestly don't have time in this episode to go over that. But what I'll show you guys now is you don't actually need anything here. So you guys can actually leave that there. We'll grab a repeating command block. Now what we're going to do, in my opinion, set this at the center of a city or area that you have that you want filled with chests. What I do is go to dead center of the area, dig down. I don't think we can place blocks under here, can we? No, we cannot. So this will be a little bit interesting because you need some blocks of space, but I'm actually going to do it above ground. You guys know what to do. Go underneath your point, like where your middle of the city is, and then you're going to break some blocks down there, make a little like little space down there. And then what you're going to want to do is to fly back over your command line, and we're going to add one more thing. When this says 1 in our text, we're going to quickly just go right next to it, nothing in here. We're going to create another scoreboard objective. You can name it whatever you like, of course. So you can do scoreboards objectives, add, I don't know, apple. Boom. Oops, I messed that up. I keep forgetting to say dummy. Scoreboard objectives, add apple, dummy. I'm sorry, guys. Just like that. Add a new objective, apple, successfully. All we're going to need to do now is to go to this command block and simply go scoreboard players set at a score of player minimal equals 1, apple 1. Now, if you guys remember from last episode, our apple score, our player score is what we're setting with our player join thing. So whatever score that you've used for your player join system, you'll have to put in there in place of player. So if you've set yours to a different name than I did in the first episode, then please replace your name right in there with player. And then, of course, your score that you've created just now, and you will be good to go. I know it's not needed, but I do redstone over the top because I find it very important to have that there just in case, because if you go back and you're trying to look through all your commands to figure out why it's not working, and it's just because of a piece of redstone, it annoys me. Let's see if we can do the sidebar of apple and see if it gave us anything. We now have a score of apple as 1. Now, I'm going to say one more thing before we move on here. As you guys can see, we say score of player set everybody with a score of player to apple. So if we were to just do at A, it would set everybody's score, but we want it to only be people that are playing the current game. So that's why we do it as a score of player. If I set my score of apple to 0, and then set my score of player to 0, and then repower this, let's move it over here so that we don't have to worry about doing that. Oh, I'm so sorry, guys. Give me 1 second. I'm so sorry, guys. We're back. And as I was saying, where was I just a second ago? Oh yeah, I was saying, since I set my score of player to 0, which I think that we did awesome when we set the player score of apple to 0, if we were to activate this, nothing will happen. Absolutely nothing. Just because we have our set of score to player to 0. If we give ourselves a score of 1 again, it will now function. Got the right command block. Set score of player to 1, hold on. There we go. There it goes. That was weird for a second there, guys. My bad. Apple to 1. It will now work again. We will set our score for Apple back to 0. Just like so. And then now we can head back over here to where we were a second ago. Now, you would want to go to your little space underneath your city where you were a second ago. You want to go under there. I'm going to come up here for tutorial purposes. And what I'm going to do is simply just do a little command here that says / chess4. A random player, r equals, let's just do 150, comma, score of Apple, or your scoreboard objective name, min equals 1. That's what you're going to want to do here. So what that's technically doing, testing for a player in a radius of 15 blocks from this command block with a score of Apple equal to 1. Or minimal, I should say. Not equal. I'm sorry. Place a repeater down, and then what you can do is use those same clone command blocks. I don't want to go through it again, guys, but basically, all you do from here is simply just add your command line again with your chests right here on top with your clone in it, and you're good to go. So what that will do is instead of cloning it from, first of all, from that location, it will clone it from here. So it will always be in distance of this spot. And the reason we don't have this on, like, radius equals 1,000 or 150, that's radius equals 15, I just noticed. Radius equals 150. The reason we don't have that on, like, 1,000 is because even if it detects 1,000 blocks away, this will not be rendered yet, so it will still have the same issue as if it was all the way at the end of the command line. So I like doing 100 or 150, maybe a little bit less, maybe like 75 if you have your render distance a little low. Setting that, or just doing this command block with 75 in place of the 150, and you should be good, and you should not have any command block issues with the player render distance. So I'm going to remove this because I do not need this. That's how you would want to set up a regular chest system. Now, I want to say one more thing here. I know I'm saying a lot of stuff here because there's so many different parts that need to be done properly here. If you want to make a randomized system, this will have to be on a smaller map, because the smaller it is, the easier the chests and locations can be accessed, and you won't have to make some giant elaborate system that will take you 5 hours to complete for just randomized chests. I've had multiple people ask me to do that for my Battle Royale game on our server, which I will link in the description. But it is just way too much work. I've tried scratching my head and everything trying to figure out how to do it, and I just can't figure it out right now. But I will show you guys why in a minute. But let's work on our randomized system. So what you're going to want to do is, let me think this out for a second. Now, I actually haven't figured out a way to do a 100% working randomizer with only command blocks. So this is going to be for probably your small multiplayer server with all your friends. What you're going to want to do here is grab yourselves some powered rails, detector rails, minecarts, and a lever. Or I guess a couple hundred if you're doing this in creative. I would not recommend doing this in survival because obviously you can't get command blocks in survival, and you can certainly not get this many resources in survival without a lot of work. Alright, so this is the important part here. How many of these you're going to have? So say if I have one spaced out by every rail like this, that's going to be how many chests that you will have. So if I have 3 different layouts, so you know, if one chest, let me try to make this a little bit simpler here. Let's grab some iron chest plates, diamond, and gold. Let's say the first one you have a chance of getting will give you a golden chest plate in one chest. The second one you have will give you a diamond one, and the last one will have an iron one. If this rail is picked to be your system, it will set these as the golden chest plates and all the rest of your chests that you have. This one will be the diamond chest plate and all the rest of them random if you like. If this one's picked, this one the iron chest plate if it's picked, and so on, each one needing to be different. So essentially, I hope that made a little bit more sense. I'm trying to make this a little bit easier here. For me, it makes a lot of sense, but obviously I've done this a lot. So I'm hoping that you guys understand that. So the next thing that we need to do here is to just make a little bit of a little repeater line right there, just one spaced apart like that. We're going to put some powered rails in between, and then simply put some levers on the opposite sides, just like this, and just power them up, just like so. Now, there's 2 things you can do here. One more thing. If you want to make this... Oh, sorry, guys. Sorry, I got a cough. Sorry. As I was saying, if you were to want to make, like, let's say you have 5 different ones like this, and you want to make it extremely random, I would not recommend putting like one here and then making a whole like loop of these tracks going around, because I'm not sure if you guys can tell, but what will happen with that is if it's just going 1 through 5 here and then it goes all the way around still on 5, that's going to give the players an insane chance of getting the 5th layout before the rest of them, because obviously it's going to be going on this track the whole time. So one thing you will have to do in order to do this is going to be is going to have to put these on all sides, which I'll show you how to do in just a moment. Just so this doesn't take me a while, I'm going to place just 3 different chests, and what you're going to do is you're going to want to go one here, and then you just want to go 1, 2, 3 again, or how many you may have, and then you're going to place your rails just like you have a minute ago, repeaters facing outwards, and that will be your second side. You're going to want to continue this for all of your sides. Make sure you have the exact amount of these redstone repeaters and detector rails for how many chest layouts you will have for your players. 1, 2, 3, and then do the same thing on the inside with your repeaters out, just like so. Looking good. We will put our rail there. Same thing, and this should match up just like. My phone has just died, dang it. Alrighty, back to what we were saying before. My mom was just so nice to come in here and grab my phone from me because it was dead, and she was like, "Hey, is your phone dead?" I'm like, "Yeah." She was like, "Oh, awesome, let me go charge it for you." I'm like, "Oh, thank you." So she went and did that. That's amazing. Thank you. Shout out to my mom, by the way. She's amazing. But now that we have our 3 on each side, this will now create a randomized system, because what's going to be happening here is it will go, let's say we're using the scores of 1, 2, and 3 for each one of these. It'll be 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. It's going to continue that in an infinite circle, essentially making it pretty dang random. That's what we're going to say for now. So this part is where it gets a little bit complex, because you're going to have to make a lot of scoreboard objectives and a lot of stuff. So I recommend paying close attention. It'll try to make it as easy to understand as possible. So the first thing I recommend doing is designating your first one. So you're going to need, for your first score, which is going to be your first layout, I'm just going to place a sign right there. So it's going to go 1, 2, 3, first one here, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3. Now you can see which way this is going to be going, essentially. Maybe I'll place a little, like, one of those right there to show which way it's going. So that's going to be the first one right here. So what we're going to want to do now is go into chat, and we're going to have to make a couple scoreboard objectives. I recommend using the same ones as me, just because it kind of has some significance to the randomizer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do /scoreboard objectives, and I'm going to use the letter S, so I'm going to do S1 space dummy. Awesome. Same thing, but we're going to name this one S2 dummy. So you're going to make another one named S2, and then another one, scoreboard objectives, add S3 space dummy. So each one's different. We have 1, 2, 3. Now let me say something very important. If this is the reason I'm doing only 3 is because I only have 3 different options for what it can give you. If you have 10 different options for how many, like, what chest it can pick, if you have 10 different ones, first of all, you have to do 10 of these on each side. Sorry, I didn't know I was in range of breaking those. My bad. Stop it. If you have 10 of these on each side, you're going to do 10 on each side going in a square just like this. And you're going to have to make 10 different scoreboard objectives. So like I have S1 through 3. You'd have to go S3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So S1, S2, S3. You know, you guys kind of get it, I hope. All the way up to S10 for how many ones you can get. Now this is where it gets a little bit tricky, but not really. It just takes a lot of remembering where things are. You're going to want to place down 3 command blocks. You will have to do this eventually on all sides. I'm going to go ahead and just do one side for now. So what we're going to do now is go into here, and we're going to say /scoreboard players set at a S1 to 1. Now what this is doing essentially is setting one of the scores to 1. We're going to clone this command block and put it right there and there. Now these will all say S1 to 1. You cannot have all of them saying S1, or not all of them setting any score to 1 for that matter. It can only have one command block setting 1 to positive and all the rest setting it to negative. So this one will be 1. We'll change this to S2 0, S3 0. So what this is doing is resetting the score of 1 to 0 while setting the rest, or sorry, setting the score of S1 to 1 while setting all the rest to 0. So you will have to, once again, put down as many of these as you have. So if you have S3 to 0, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, that's how many you'll have to do if you have all the way up to S10. Like score player set at a S3 0, go into the next one, score player set at a S4 0, score player set at a S5 0, all the way up to how many you have. So make sure you do that. And then what you're going to want to do is I'm going to just clone all of these. This makes it really easy. And if you have more than 10, or more than 9 for that matter, you're going to have a little bit of trouble holding them, so I recommend keeping it under 9 if you can. But I actually did 10 on our Battle Royale server, and it did take me a while. So 1, 2, and 3. And one more thing I should mention. If I do this, this, and this, if you guys were watching my hotbar, you would have noticed that I went 1, 3, 2. That is not okay. You have to have it in the exact order. It has to go 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Now if you go through, you can check it, S1, S2, S3. So that's how you know that you've done it properly. Set S1 to 0, set S2 to 1. Whoops, if I can grab it. S1. So, now what's happening is this is set S1 to 0, or sorry, has set S1 to 1, and the rest to 0. This one has set S1 back to 0, and set S2 to 1. So essentially, we're kind of going in a circle here. So we're going to clone the rest one more time. 1, 2, 3, S1 to 0, S2 to 0, S3 to 1. That's what you're going to want to do. Put redstone all along the tops here. And then you're just going to want to clone your first one again. This is where it gets a little easier. And you can just do 1, 2, 3, and you know that's already in order. Clear your inventory. 1, 2, 3 for the second one. Pop this one down. And just do second one. Now, as you can see, we have S2 to 1, S1 to 1. We're doing great. S3, we will grab 1, 2, 3. And you will see S3 is to 1. We will continue this the whole way around. Make sure that you have your S1 in the right position. So this one, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. This one will be 1 right here. That will be S1. Awesome. We'll go grab S2 and put this right here. And then we'll grab S3 once again and put it right here. Now, we will have to complete this the whole way around. I've decided to not do as many jump cuts. I will have to do one, which I've probably already done when I went AFK for a second, because it did take me a bit. But the rest I will probably just do in cam like normal, so you guys don't miss anything. Like last episode, if you guys have any questions at all of how I've created this, or if you guys need any help, I will be more than happy to come join your guys' server, or if you have just questions, just let me know. But I'll be happy to join your server on 1.12. It has to be on 1.12 because I don't know 1.13 commands. No sadness there. I do not like 1.13 at all. Now, I want to acknowledge something here. I've actually made a little of a mistake. Now, I want to check. Is this one making a mistake too? No, this one's fine. I made a mistake. As you guys can see, the first one, S11, S20, S30, S10, S20, S31. So we've actually gone out of order. No out of ordering there, sir. We cannot have this out of order at all. Just like I said before, you have to make sure you go in the right order. Like that, S1, S2 to 1, S3 to 0. Make sure that that only sets one of them to 1. Awesome. 1, 2, 3. And we are actually done. So that pretty much makes your circuit. I like to call it a circuit because it looks just like a circuit in a computer. I call that your randomization circuit. Now, if you must or if you want to, you can delete all of your signs. You don't need them anymore. And all you have to do now is find the one where it says S1 and it goes to S2, and then you just start it going that way. That will activate your randomizer. So what this is essentially doing now is it will now completely randomize which chests are actually going to be used in your game. So whichever one it chooses will be what layout it uses. So what we're going to do is now we will go to the end here. See how it says Apple 1? We're going to actually use that score. I believe we can. If I have to say hold on in a second, that's probably because I've noticed it won't, but we should be able to use Apple. So what I will do is I will actually, actually we can do something different here. We can do /test4, a random player score of player. So we're using our first scoreboard again, player, minimal equals 10. So that's testing for your players again, just like we have for the startup mechanism, which we should be able to go check over here. Same thing, as it's checking for 10. You can just clone this command block if you'd like to and put it over here. Make sure it is on repeat, always active, unconditional. We're going to be placing ourselves a redstone comparator with some redstone, just like that. So we're now going to grab a command block. This part isn't very difficult, it just takes some time. So we're just going to go 6, 7. Actually, not yet. We need to put a redstone repeater in front of that comparator, just like that. We're just going to put some out here. I don't know how much it's going to take, but I like to do that. This is where it gets a little complex. Not really. So what we're going to do is we're going to place 3 command blocks. You can have as many as you need. I need that many for mine. That is very unequal. That's going to make my brain mad. I'm going to add one more. Right there. Ah, I win. Alright, so you need to have I have 3 command blocks because I have 3 different outputs. If you have 10 different, you have to put 10 command blocks. You know, make sure your signal length doesn't run out here. If you get more than 12 blocks here, add a repeater in the middle of that line to make it go further. And then what we're going to do here is, let's just see here. We're going to simply add repeater, repeater, and then repeater, command block, command block, command block. And then what we're going to do here is place comparators right in front of these command blocks, like so. Alrighty. Now, what we're going to do here is we're going to grab some redstone dust. This is very important placement, so make sure you guys watch this. What you're going to want to do, walk up to all of them or one of them, right click it, make sure that little light right there is turned on, one next to it, one next to the command block, and one on top of the command block. That will essentially create something that when it's activated, it will turn on and then turn itself back off. If you don't have this, this will stay on and will bug your whole game. So make sure you've put the comparator on with redstone next to the comparator, redstone next to the command block, and one on top. Do that for all of your different layouts that you have, or all of your command blocks right there. I'm done. You will have to do that for all of them. All you'll have to do now, guys, is simply go into one of these and say /test4, a random player, score of S1 minimal equals 1. Just like that. And we're going to take this command block and clone it for all of the rest of these. Change this one to S2. Grab that redstone over here. I see you. And then change this one right here to S3 right there. That will essentially pretty much 80 to 90% complete our randomizer. So that's pretty much it for the randomizer. Now, one sec. Dang it, this cough really getting a hold of me, guys. I'm sorry. Sorry about that, guys. So we are back. Now, what I'm going to say is I will just say quickly that we have to add our chest, of course. So hopefully you guys have kept those coordinates from the last time that we did that, or if you haven't gotten your coordinates, go grab your coordinates. I still have them. What you're going to want to do here, this one is pretty interesting and actually pretty fun in my opinion. Put some redstone repeaters there, just like so. And then what you're going to want to do is under each line you're going to put one command block. Alright. This is where it gets a little complex. So if you yourself have a giant map, let's say humongous, just like a giant map, like Game of Thrones like giant map. Like we're looking at a giant castle and everything, and you got all of your different chests around that map. You're going to have to put one command block under each one of these for how many chests you have. If you have 20 chests, you have to go down each line and put 20 command blocks like that under each one. So make sure you know that. I'm only having one chest in each location, so we're just going to do 1, 2, 3. Wait. I just noticed that. It took me that long. That's so funny, guys. I'm so sorry. So I actually have... I think we should be okay, actually. I was thinking I had to have 4 of them, but I only made 3, but I think we should be fine. Yeah, because only 3 different layouts. Alright. So we actually have to make just that. So perfect. So we're going to add 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's going to make 4 command blocks in front. Do it on all the rest of them. Just like so on all of them. Alright. Just like that. And then what we're going to do is under each one, we are going to do /clone one block up, just like we did a minute ago in the other command blocks, and then to your first coordinate. Like so. Grab your second coordinate, copy this command block, and do the same thing all the way down by changing the coordinates that are in the block. This is extremely important. Make sure all your coordinates are correct and that all your command blocks are linked up, because you do not want to have one side not work and all of the rest work, so your players are not going to have any chests to play with. Make sure that this is actually good. Alright, boom. Now, this is kind of the easier part of this length. All you have to do now is take all the command blocks. You can just clone, 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 and clone, and just simply go 1, 2, 3, 4. Same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4. And as you guys can see, it's copied those coordinates perfectly in here, so that we don't have to worry about doing it again. Next thing, grab yourself your chest. This I really find kind of petty, honestly, but we have to do it. A little bit of an annoying thing for game creators like myself. We actually have to go through each and every one of these chests that we're placing right now and make a different setup. So if we have, let's grab ourselves some name tags here. Actually, I think it'll be a lot easier to grab just an item. You guys can fill these with whichever items you like. Make sure it's the items you want the players to find in the chests. So in one of them, we will do... I have an idea. We will do... like so. We're going to grab some carrots, and we're going to do all carrots. We'll grab another one, which we'll do potato. I'm not sure if you guys can tell the last one that we're going to do. We're probably going to do wheat or something like that. I keep doing 5 on this one. There we go. All right. 4 potatoes there, 4 potatoes there, 4 potatoes there, 4 potatoes there. And then the last thing that we're going to do is we are going to grab ourselves some wheat. And you guys might be asking, I'm not sure if anybody else has noticed, but I actually have my texture pack on from the server at the present moment. We have our gun texture pack from the server, so I have that one on. Actually, I've had it in the last episode too. Put the wheat all in the chests, and then we should actually be good for our first test. Now, if we were to run this whole thing again, score player set lightsaber player to 10. Let's do this. That's going to start down our counter, going from 10 all the way down to 0. Sorry, guys. You will see, supposedly, that... boom. Oh, I'm so sorry. I forgot something. I was wondering why this wasn't going off. I am being an idioto. I completely forgot, guys. I'm sorry. We actually forgot a huge part, so it's not going to take long. But this part, I forgot. When this turns on, it's not going to select one. You have to make it turn back off. So at the end of our command line, we have to add a command block that just says scoreboard player set at a player to 0, which will reset it. I think that should be it. Awesome. Is this... okay, move this up by 1. You don't want it on the same one as where it sets your score to Apple. You don't want that one. Make sure it's 1 later. Alright. Set everybody to 0. And you will see that one of these has illuminated, meaning that one of them has been cloned over there. We will do that one more time. Player to 10. It will now give us our fancy countdown. And supposedly what will happen now is it is now off. It has reset our command line again. And any second now, you guys will see that we will go on top of here. One of those is illuminated. That far one over there is illuminated. I don't have my Optifine on right now, but we will be traveling across the sky in our balloons. We will get pushed down if we're AFK or not wanting to jump. Come on. You know you want to do it to him. This one's a little bit longer because we've set it to where if they're AFK, it gives them enough time. There it goes. And it's teleported us down. And as you guys can see, it will choose a random one. This time we got the carrots in here. You can change this once again to whatever loot you like. If I go back over here really fast and just remove this command block for testing purposes and place a redstone block here. 1 on, 1 off. We got the same one again, on, off. We got the second one this time. So if we go on over here, we will now have all potatoes in here. This is all different. That is our second layout. Let's see, this is all completely random, so you can get 1, 2, or 3 either time. On, off, we've gotten the first one. On, off, that's the first one again. On, off, third one, there it is. We've gotten the third one. You will see if we run back over here now. We now have wheat in all of our chests. So you once again can change this to whatever you like. I, unfortunately, am not going to do it to any of my games. And another disclaimer, the reason it has to be a small map is because all of this has to be in one location. You cannot spread this out. It would take immense amounts of work, and it would just not be fun at all. We're going to put this back now. Make sure it's on always active. We're awesome. That is now completely finished. Make sure this is near it. Make sure if you're using a small map, you have to make this randomized one. If this only works, the randomized circuit only works on smaller maps, because if you unload this or this, you will have some issues, okay? Another thing to mention, if you are the last player online at night and you leave, for instance, I will try this. I'm not sure if this is a glitch just in survival worlds or if it's in... okay, so it's just in multiplayer servers. That's a weird... wow. That... I don't know what that minecart's on, but it has some serious issues. I'm not going to acknowledge that. I'm just going to reset this because that's spooky. I just broke my whole command block thing. You know what? Yeah, you get over there. That's what I thought. Alright. We're going to reset this and make an actual good command block that's not on drugs. Drugs are bad. Don't ever do them. But as I was saying, that's going to go again and hopefully not break itself. So as you guys can see, it doesn't work like this on single player servers, but I believe I have this issue on my server. I don't want to say it for everybody's server, but what will happen sometimes is your minecart will just stop, and that means your randomizer is stopped, and it will get the same chest every time. So make sure this is both on. If this goes outside the render distance of a player, you will get that cannot clone blocks outside the world message, and you will not get your chests. So make sure these 3 components are near where players are going to be. You do not want these somewhere random. Alright, so as you guys can see, we've made some pretty substantial progress here. Let's think here. So we've done our game start system, we've done our elytra system, we've done our chest system, and we have done our countdown. We've done a lot of different stuff here. I think we're going to end this one because I think this took us quite some time, guys. I'm pretty sure it took us about 20-25 minutes. I don't know. I can't check my clock right now. But we actually finished another huge part of this game. In the next episode, we're going to be making ourselves a game end system and also a spectate system. So if you were to die during the game, we will be making that in the next video. So you guys, thank you all so much for watching part 2 of how to make a battle royale game in Minecraft. I cannot wait to get to part 3, guys. And if you are new here, please guys, make sure to like and subscribe. And also, I will be putting my server IP in the description if you want to check out the actual played version of our battle royale. So thank you all so much for watching, and I will catch you guys in episode 3. Bye-bye, guys.